Welcome back to EUREKA Farms for episode 7 with me, MrSealyp. It's 9:50 in the morning. I've just done a harvest contract on field 12 for oats. Now, I mentioned Big Daddy in the previous episode. We had a conversation about this, and I don't know if this is going to work. If it does work, this will be the Big Daddy manoeuvre from now on. On console, when you do a harvest contract, if there's a straw swath left behind, you can't collect it unless you're running seasons. I've done that on 6 ashes. I'll talk about that in a minute. On PC, there is a mod that allows you to collect the straw swath as well as do the harvest. Now, if you're running seasons on console, with the milling machine, you can do the harvest contract. And as long as you don't complete the harvest contract and take the money, which ends the contract, you can collect the straw, which I did on 6 ashes. But what Big Daddy suggested was this. With this modded loading wagon here on EUREKA Farms, because it goes out to the right, the collection a really long way, if you run alongside the actual contract field but off the field, will it allow you to pick the straw up? Kind of trick it into, if as soon as you go onto the field, it won't let you because it says only contract vehicles are allowed, you know, that kind of thing. But is it possible pick up down? I don't have access to the land. Oh yeah, so potentially it won't then. If you go onto the field, will it then say no? So I haven't completed the contract, so that's weird. What if I come off away, as far away from the, onto the road or something? Will it pick any of it up? Yes, look. So as long as I'm off the contract land, I am picking some up. That is so dodgy. But good call, Big Daddy. It is working. The Big Daddy manoeuvre. So the land is actually allocated. That's weird. Why does that stop now? So it did work and then stopped. I'm getting some. It's taken a little bit. What's going on? Right, let's go over there. Is it because the road isn't kind of part of it? How bizarre. It did start doing it and then stopped. At this point, I'm going to interject over the top of the old MrSealyp to say what actually works is if you own the land around it. The reason it allowed me to pick up the first bit was because I own the land the other side of it. It's where my property is. If I owned the field this side of it, or any of the fields around it, as long as I'm on property I own, it's okay. That's kind of how the system works. Hang on a minute though, what about, and this is really dicey, I can't buy the field because there's a contract on it, but what about if I buy field 13 next to it? I haven't got enough money to buy field 13. Oh, that's so annoying. I think, isn't it weird? I thought because I was on the road it would allow me down there. Maybe that side, if I run along the road, it might. That won't, because it goes right up to. Yeah, that's too expensive. I mean, that would technically be a field flip if you did that. Okay, so putting that theory to the test with the 2 plots that I can afford, maybe 3 plots, we'll have a look. We'll do fields 8 and 9. I'll buy those. I can sell them back afterwards. I just need access to the property, really. There is a plot just below the shop which I might be able to buy as well, which is quite cheap. So what should happen now is, because I own those plots, I can probably get onto the road and do it. Let's try that. Oh, right, there you go. So there was a little part of it that it didn't, but the rest does. So it does work. Just under certain circumstances. Would it have been easier just to do my own field? Maybe, but if you're going to do the harvest contract anyway, you might as well leave the swath behind, and as long as you own the land around it. And like I say, if you've got enough money, then just buy the plots and then sell them back. Like I say, you just need access. You're not taking anything off those fields, you're just taking off of another one. Thank you, Big Daddy. With the recent update now in place, I have a worker fertilising on field 5, and it's not overlapping anymore. It's doing exactly how it should be. I'm absolutely over the moon with that. I have started my hay production, as you can already see. I've been around the outskirts of field 3 already, because I want to get as much as I possibly can. Now, I want to thank everyone for the comments regarding the Krone Big M and the fact you can fast mow. I already knew I could fast mow with this. What I hadn't ever tried before was fast tedding or creating hay with the two together, because I wasn't sure if you could or not. Loads of people commented and said, oh yeah, so you can, give it a go. This is one of the in-game ones. Now, as you can see, the width of the mower is a little bit narrower than the width of the tedder, but the tedder is one of the ones that doesn't have a 3-point link. It's a direct hitch. That's why it connects up, no problem at all. So that all works. So in one pass, I'm managing to mow and ted to get my hay, but also do it extremely quickly. Now, this plot of land here, I bought extra when I was doing that straw collection, the Big Daddy manoeuvre, off of field 12, below, next to me. So below, it is south of here, but next to me. The only drawback to doing that, it does work, but you have to own the fields all the way around it, because you need the permission to be on the land around it to get what's on it. This plot of land I didn't own, so I bought it, which allowed me to do some of it, although I didn't have enough money to buy all the plots all the way around, so it didn't quite work as well as I hoped, but we still got a load more straw off it. So that being said, let's turn that on, drop it down. Let's turn that on and drop it down, and then we'll do a double click on that, and then a double click on that. What should happen now is we should mow and ted and get up to 26 miles an hour. Happy days. So I'm going to do all of this, and then I'm going to do all of field 10. What's field 10 I've got, isn't it? Yeah, field 10. And then we'll use the loaded wagon, we'll collect all the hay up, and then I've got everything I need to start making tail mix ration, which I'm going to do on a fairly large scale, or I hope to do on a fairly large scale. That at least is the plan. I'll make as much of it as I can, but if I have to repeat this process, it's not, you know, when you think about how long it took me to get 2 million litres of silage into the silo, into the silage clamp, and then collect it out and put it into storage, and then the same with this, you know, mowing and tedding at 26 miles an hour, you're going to get plenty. Should not be a problem. Now, what I could do at this point, if I wanted to, is do this now, and then I could allow the grass to grow again and do a double cut, and I've got twice as much, but it's as long as it's short. I would sometimes do that if it's going to take you a long time to collect it all, then do a double cut, you then get twice as much. Now, that will only work if you're not doing seasons, because if you're doing seasons, obviously it will rot away in between, whereas if you're not, then this isn't a problem. And again, this is in-game stuff. This isn't modded to this map. This is stuff you can use in-game. You know, the stuff you can get on this map is so bonkers. That's kind of the point on this map, isn't it, of just doing whatever. So I think I've done all of it as far as I'm trying to think. Did I clear all of it? The beauty as well is the fact, because I'm going at the full speed of the vehicle, what I would normally do at this point, oh no, there you go, is turn off the machinery so I could move across the map as fast as I need to, but it's running at full speed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now, I did just say that my worker had completed, but there's no way the worker has finished that field. So I have to go and check that. Now the only problem with this sticking out a little bit further is sometimes what you have to do is fold it for some little bits, do the mowing, then come back and do a little bit of tedding, because it can clip things, as you might already have noticed as well. No, you don't need to have noticed. I think I did a clip of it, didn't I? Which you've probably already seen. I went out in the T-Rex and cut all the surplus trees down. I say surplus, the trees that were in the way, only because I was having to go around them and it was a pain, especially when you want to do grass work like this. I just thought, you know what, let's get rid of them, and that didn't take 5 minutes either. That has the same technology in it as the bulldozer, the new bulldozer mulcher blade. It does it just as quickly. Now this is where you might run into a bit of a problem, or I might run into a bit of a problem. If I go right to the edge to get maximum, the tedder is flicking grass out onto the road. Now I'm hoping that when I come along with the loading work, and it will collect all that and not do the whole, you know, you don't own this, go away. Now, as with any of these kind of fast farming things, it's great, and especially if you're doing the work yourself, it speeds the whole process up, which is what you want. You want it all sped up, and you know, if you're trying to speed it up, you might not want to speed it all up. Downside is if you want to do multiple jobs at the same time, as soon as you hire a worker, the worker slows down. The worker won't do it at this speed. So, you know, it is that trade-off of, yes, I'm getting to do this much faster than I would do normally, but it does mean I can't then go off and do other things. I'm kind of tied to doing this job. So it swings and roundabouts, really. So what I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to go over to field 10. I'm going to set a worker on that just to get a worker going, and then I'm going to go and check on the fertilising situation, then get back and get cracking on that. We'll get all the rest of this done. There are a few patches where it doesn't seem to have grown at all, which is a bit weird. I'm not quite sure why. So I'm trying to decide now, do we focus on the TMR production in this episode, or do I just get this done and then get the sugar beet done? Somebody did also comment and say that for the sugar factory, to get it of maximum production, you need sugar beet and sugar cane. The potato harvester should be fixed as well, so potentially we could do the sunflower oil one. If I got multiple factories, we could do potatoes, and then we could do sunflowers, so we could do a bit of yeah, potato chips maybe. I'll have a think about that. But all good. I'm glad that the fix went through. Everything seems to be working as it should be. Like I said, potato thing I haven't checked yet, but according to the change log, it is fixed, and I absolutely certainly know that the worker overlapping on jobs is sorted. Does the worker, when you're doing jobs like this, stop at the end of fields? I haven't checked that yet. That was one thing that was a little bit annoying. It would do a one pass up, turn around, come back, and then when it got to the end of the field, it would stop, and the worker would stop unexpectedly. I'm not sure why it was doing that, and I don't know if that's been fixed yet because I haven't checked that. But anyway, regardless, I will see you sometime later. When all this is done, we can collect up all the hay I've produced and see how much we've actually got. It doesn't matter how much we've actually got. To do the mixes I'm doing, I need to at least have double of everything else. But if I haven't, I'll just make as much as I possibly can with what I got, and then I'll just do a load more off screen. Just let it all regrow and do it again. It's, you know, not too much of an issue. So what I'll do with that is turn that off for a moment, lift it and fold it. I mean, it's a tiny little bit of grass. Realistically, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference, but I might as well get it. So I'll mow it first. No, I won't, because I just turned the mower off. How did I manage to do that? bizarre. Oh, that's weird. Because I've folded up the tether, the mower won't work. Oh, can't get it to turn on at all. If I disconnect that, will it work? How weird. Couldn't get it to turn on when I had the tether connected but folded. There's something I didn't expect. And I'll come back around with the tether and get it done. Right. The fertilising job over on field 5 is complete, and I've brought the rig back over. I'm down to my last 193,000 litres of fertiliser in there, so I'm a bit concerned I might run out. Not anytime soon. All the hay production is done, so what I'm going to do now is turn that on, drop that down. And let's collect. We've got is taking it off the road. That's good. I wasn't sure if it would. How far out? Because I never quite got to the bottom of just how far out it goes. Yeah, it goes all out to the road from here. So I'm trying to work out what to title the video. I was going to say Ultimate TMR Mixer, but I know there'll be people that go, well, I do it differently and I do it better, and yeah, so maybe just bulk TMR mixing or something along those lines. I've said before, with a lot of the jobs I do, there are so many different ways of doing all these things, and for me, that's my, maybe I should put my ultimate TMR mixer. And I've done it all different ways over the years on different farms with different machines, whether it's bales or loose or out of silos, or with portable mobile mixing wagons, whatever it might be. I think with the combination of that, or of a multi-fruit silo, not necessarily that one, but it will allow you to do far more bulk. It will give me a fairly quick way of getting a huge amount of product done. But we'll get onto that in a little while. I just want to see how much hay we end up with. Let's go up and do round field 3. As we get to, it did all that, didn't it? Yep. Fantastic. Right. Cut right across the edge here. Spin around the corner. Excellent. I don't have access to this land. I absolutely do. How weird. Now, someone did also comment to say that with this loading wagon, if you put, well, sure, so maybe something I need to test. If you put a bit of hay in it yourself and then go and collect grass, it will automatically recognise it. It will put it all as hay. I'm sure that's what somebody said. Did I dream that bit? And there's a potential I dreamt that. Which is an old one. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I was going to mention. You may have noticed I've done a bit of landscaping here. I've added a bit more grass down this end. That wasn't ploughed and done, that's just textured, and I put a kind of gravel track up. This was a whole load of yard I wasn't using for anything, so I thought I might as well grass it, and then when it's all grown, it gives me more grass potential moving forward. If at any point I decide I want to add more stuff in, I'm going to put a load of factories or buildings, I can always just re-landscape it, tarmac it, concrete it, whatever I want to do. So I just thought for the time being, it'll work as it is. Right, I think that's it for this property. So what we'll do is unload that first, then I'll go do field 3, and then we'll come and collect from... Isn't it weird as well? When I first started using this, it's that kind of giggling schoolchild thing of, this is incredible. How quickly you then take it for granted. I'm now going around like, okay, I'm using this tool. I know it's going to do 500,000 litres. I know the pickup goes out a really long way. Let's just get this hay collected as quickly as possible. Rather than that, this is still really awesome. It's still fantastic and still bonkers and still bizarre. But how quickly your mind resets and goes, yeah, okay, well, yeah, I've used that once now. I know it's bonkers. Weird. I need to lease a couple of trailers. For what I'm going to do there in a little while, which I, like I say, will show you. So after TMR, potentially once the TMR is done and stored, we can then look at getting our first lot of cows, which is great. Once the sugarcane's done, we can then get onto the factory side of things. Yeah, everything's moving forward. It's, you know, it's all working alright. Now, as far as it goes with me making loads of money, every few episodes I've been putting up a little screenshot of, you know, the contracts I've been doing, and you know, these are massive builds. It pays out well. Yes, we've got some big machinery, so it does speed up that entire process. But don't think for a minute that, I mean, I say it's easier to make money on here than it would be on you know, other maps. Obviously, I've still had to put time in. It's still, I've had to put a load of hours in to do that. It's not something that's just happened by accident, you know. I know I'm only on episode, well, now 7 or 8, or whatever it is I'm on now. Now what I need to do is actually go the other way around. I know this will do all the way, but I just think if I go on the road, will it still, well, it should still pick up, shouldn't it? Yep, cool. I'll drive around the road then, that'll be easier, won't it? I'll go and do that other bit in a minute. But yeah, I mean, whilst I went through phases of, oh, I need to buy this, I need to buy the tractor, I need to buy, you know, and I'd do a few contracts and then I'd have 500,000. So yeah, it's easier to make money, but I still have to do the contracts. And I know I'm fast farming, so those contracts, it's not like having to put in hundreds of hours to make that sort of money, but still time invested. Don't think we're going to get 500,000 litres off around this field, but still going to be a nice bulk of hay. I might extend this field as well, field 3, once I do the next harvest. Extend it right out. Try and decide if I do a big potato harvest, whether to do a big field. I mean, like a big field. That'd be a lot of potato. I did want to do a big silage harvest as well, didn't I? So see how we go with that. Right, so while I'm going down here and collecting up my hay, I will then again see in a little while, once I've collected it all, we'll see what we're up to with our straw, our hay and our silage, and let's get some TMR made. It's 1:32 in the afternoon. My fertiliser crew, well, helper, is over fertilising field 10. All the hay is off the field. We've got all the resources we need for TMR. So this is my ultimate TMR mixer. And I will explain the reasons why for me this is the ultimate one. I have tried this setup on a test map using conveyor belts because I thought I want it more automated. Problem is it doesn't automate it. The conveyor belts are great for taking out the silo and do work and put into the TMR mixer, but you have to be in the TMR mixer to see how much is coming into it. The problem then is you have to then jump out of it to stop the conveyor belt if it gets to the point where there's too much of a product going in, and then using a conveyor belt to take out of it to put into the silo again to try and automate the system is fine, but you have to be in the TMR mixer to unload. As soon as you come out of it, get out of it, it stops unloading. And the problem is with the conveyor belt, it was really slow. So whilst it kind of automated it. You had to be in the mixer, and for that reason, that ceases to be automated at that point, really. Now, this can be done because these I'm using, as you probably already know if you've been watching the series, the Silo Wood by Tana, which holds 10 million litres, multi-crop, pretty much everything. I've got 2 of those. The TMR mixer is in the mixed ration for cows by Rowley Christie 1. You get this mixer and it does come with a silo, which I'm not using. This will hold 300,000 litres. But you can't leave it in there. It needs to be taken out and stored. If you leave it in there, it will disappear if you leave your save game. So it needs to be mixed and then stored somewhere. But 300,000 litres at a time is, as far as I'm aware on console, the larger or largest of the mixers we have. Now, I have done this using, again, if you've been watching any of my Let's Plays, my series, right the way back from Marwell Manor Farm, Alien Jim's silo, which I love. I think it's a brilliant bit of kit. Have I got it actually here under my placeables? I don't know if I have got it installed. That's a good point. If I haven't, why not? Oh no, it was when I transferred over to PS5. I didn't transfer the mod over. I need to get that installed again. The downside to that, if you can call it a downside, is it only holds 500,000 litres. But what you can do with that is, because you've got, like these have, you've got the outspout and the in grate underneath each other. If you use a mobile mixer wagon, a trailed one, you can put the mix in and then unload the TMR out in one go. Bomb, 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 bomb. Which you can do with this if you want to, using a mixer wagon. The largest mixer wagon we've got available is 45,000 litres on console. So you can absolutely do that, which is a fairly speedy process. But I thought being able to do 300,000 litres at a time, plus the bulk of the fact these will hold 10 million litres, you can get an absolute load done. So that's kind of why, hopefully, this is going to work. Now, because that holds 300,000 litres, we've got 2 ways we can do this. If I go to... Now, straw, again, I use straw to pad it out because you can get far more TMR if you're going to be using it, or you just make more of hay or more of silage, however you want to go about it. So I split my mix. Hay is a half of the mix, or 2/4. 1/4 straw, 1/4 silage. So a quarter of 300,000 litres is 75,000. So what I'm going to do is start putting 75,000 litres into here. It's going to take a little while, but it's still quicker than doing it by bales. It's still quicker than doing it by conveyor belts. And mixing 300,000 litres at a time, 3 loads, you're knocking on 1 million litres. You know, that's the kind of point behind it. Now, does it have to be exact? I mean, I will stop it as close to 75,000 litres as I can. You do get a bit of leeway in the mix, and I'll show you that in a minute. I mean, it doesn't take that long to get up there. Stop there. 75,008. That's not bad, is it? So if I back that up, we should just unload directly in, like so. Then we do our silage, again 75,000 litres. That's why it's always well worth doing the straw if it's there, and especially on a map like this with that loading wagon. Why wouldn't you? You can make the TMR go much, much further. It's a byproduct of doing wheat, barley or oats anyway, so you might as well grab it and use it. I know a lot of people don't, they will swear by just silage and hay, which I've been doing on my 6 Ashes Let's Play, because the straw was a bit harder to come by. I wasn't getting the harvesting contract, so I was just kind of making do with what I had. That went a little bit further over, but again, that's not too much of a problem. And then what we'll do is the rest will be hay. Now, another great reason why on this map this works so well is because the rest being hay is 150,000 litres, which obviously, as you can imagine, on the regular game, on any of the regular maps, we don't have a trailer that will hold 150,000 litres. We've got one, I can't remember who the modder is now, that goes up to 105. So you can do fairly bulk mixes. Now, obviously, I've just used 75,000 this, which I've just realised. But what I was going to show you was how much we had in storage. We had over 2 million litres of silage. We ended up with hay. It was 1.8 something. And then with our straw, we were at 1.3, well, whatever, 75,000 litres is on top of that. We've got plenty to be getting on with. I will keep doing the mix using straw until I run out of straw. Once I've run out of straw, then I'll carry on making total mix ration using silage and hay. When I run out of those, then I know I'm going to have to then process a whole load more of each 3 of those to carry on making TMR. And I say, the other beauty of this is, because these trailers on this particular map, on EUREKA Farms, because they're part of this map, will hold 500,000 litres, it means when I empty this total mix ration mixer, I can empty the full 300,000 litres in one load. Another reason why it's my ultimate total mix ration mixer, because it will do it incredibly quickly. Right, 150,000 litres. There's a little bit over, which isn't too much of a problem. So if we put that in, we'll check the mixes in a minute. And it should be mixed. All of them should be in the green. And that quickly, we've done 300,000 litres. There you go, 299 left in that. So what I could do now is do the hay as the first option next time. I am going to empty that because I'd rather do it the way I normally do it, because I'm used to. So what we do now is go to the total mix ration machine, enter that like a vehicle, like so, and we've got 300,000 litres. It's saying total mix ration, it's saying start overloading, because I've got a trailer there and it's ready to overload, which is absolutely wonderful. If I open up this menu, you can see that the mixing ratio, they're all in the green. So 75,000 straw, 75,000 silage, and 150,000 litres of hay has given me a perfect total mix ration mix. So if I now R1 and triangle, that will unload into the trailer. I know it's showing it's coming through. It does that with every trailer you use. But I have to stay in this total mix ration machine to unload. As soon as I get out, it stops unloading. Another reason my belts didn't work as well, because it just slowed down. You know, it was really slow. Now, if you've only got a trailer on the regular game that will hold maximum 105,000 litres, obviously you're going to have to do 3 loads to unload it. But again, not really too much of a hassle when you're doing 300,000 litres at a time. Now, this is going to take a little while to unload. It's 300,000 litres. It's not, you know. But again, still way quicker than most other options I've tried. Now, is this the only way of doing it? No. Like I said, you know, I'm sure people will come and say, well, I use this, this and this, and you know, maybe there are quicker ways, maybe there aren't. That's why I think I'm going to entitle it my ultimate TMR mixer. And it works. And there we go, 300,000 litres unloaded. And then what we'll do... Oh, we don't want to jump in there. Is use our second silo to keep the total mix ration separate. No, I don't have to have a second silo here. I could just take this trailer and unload back into the first silo, because it will store the total mix ration separately. I don't need 2 silos, but like I said before, these silos hold 10 million litres. They're only 30 grand. So having 2, again, it's a no-brainer. So while that's unloading, it shouldn't take too long at all, I can whiz back over and I can start on my next load of 300,000 litres. So for me, it's a win. I think it's brilliant. It works really well. We're going to get this done in absolutely no time. So, as I've done before in the last couple of bits on this episode, I'm going to carry on making total mix ration. I will make as much as I possibly can with the materials I've got at hand. Oh no, what has suddenly dawned on me? No. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave some straw. Because we're going to need straw bedding for the cows, aren't we? Of course we are. I don't want to use it all and then suddenly realise I've bought my cows and then can't bed them down. Some of that's unloading. That one's done. I can put that back into place, ready for the next load. Now, to get this to work, I placed... it's why I moved my silo originally from where it was. I placed the TMR mixer first. Then I placed the silos as close to the TMR mixer as it would allow me to. If you place the silo first, the TMR mixer doesn't like it and you can't get it as close as you'd like. Or maybe you want, or you might not be bothered and place it wherever you like. It's entirely up to you. So I placed this first and then I placed my silos. It just worked for me a little bit better that way round. So I'm going to carry on. I have to decide what to do about straw. Actually, let's have a look at contracts available. While I'm thinking about it, harvesting contracts. What I want is a harvesting contract that does... No, I haven't got any. I want one that does wheat, barley or oats. I mean, I have got my other field growing, so realistically by tomorrow morning, or by tomorrow at some point, I should have a wheat crop. It was wheat I put in that field, wasn't it? What did I go for in the end? Yeah, wheat. So I'll have a whole load more straw that I can sort of fall back on within 24 hours. Because like I say, I'm not doing seasons on this, so this is just, every time it recycles. I've got my growth set on fast, so it should happen fairly quickly. Yeah, I haven't got any other fields at the moment that have got anything in that I can actually harvest. So, yeah, I've got a couple of ways around I can do this. Now I want silage. And I will see you in a little while when I should have a couple of million litres of, hopefully, of TMR mixed. Just trying to think of the mixes, potentially. See you in a little while. Okay, it's 18 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. I'm going to try to work out how long it took me from when I did the first load to now. I have been stopping or dropping out every now and again because I've got a harvest contract going on field 1 because I suddenly realised I didn't have enough money to buy the first cow pasture. I was going to buy 2, but I haven't got enough. So I need to earn some more money doing contract work. But where do we stand? Well, these two silos seem to be linked together. I don't know if it's because they're close together or not. But silage, we've got 1,109,000 litres left. We did have over 2 million litres of silage, so that's not surprising. Hay, I used everything. Every scrap of hay we had, I used. And straw, we've got 489,000 litres left. That's plenty of straw to get me going for bedding for cows when we get them. Now, TMR. We have made 3.6 million litres of TMR in however long it took. That's what I'll have to put up on the screen. 3.6 million litres. Are we going to need more? Yes. I'm going to do 500 cows to start off with. I want to aim for 1,000. Am I going to need to make more TMR? Yes. I want to make as much as I possibly can so we don't have any problem running 1,000 cows. But it just goes to show with my personal ultimate TMR mixer, we've just done 3.6 million litres of TMR in however long it said when it came up on the screen. I'm happy with that. That worked out really, really well. I have been honestly trying to work out ways of streamlining that better. There really isn't, because with these trailers that hold 500,000 litres, I could have left the trailer sat there, done one full load of 300,000, put it into the trailer, done another 300,000, and then put another 200 in, so it was full of 500. But I would have had to come back again for the next load before I could start making top mix ration again. So it just made sense to do it that way around. But yeah, I mean, without these trailers, like I said earlier, you can use whatever size trailer you want and still do this kind of setup. It works very well. So what I need to do now is head over to my harvesting field, finish that off because it's not far off complete, get that taken down. Contract complete is at the transport company down the bottom, but that's not the best price. So we'll deliver as much as we need to finish the contract. The rest will then go to the next sell point that's paying the most. I need 299, I think it is, to get my first cow pasture. I think I'm going to put the cow pastures over this side if I can, so they're near the silos, so I'm not carting TMR, you know. I mean, in all honesty, I could stick another silo down. Like I say, at 30 grand, would it matter? Probably not. So this has been ticking along at a regular harvesting pace with a worker while I've been doing the total mix ration. And as you can see, field one's almost done. It's still doing that thing though. It'll do a strip down, turn round, come back. When it gets to the top on the worker, it stops. It says unknown reason. I think that's to do with the header height control for harvesters. Tool height control for harvesters. I think it's that. So now I've taken control, we should be able to speed up a bit. Get this completed. It's not a huge amount. It's not. I think the payout's only 29 grand standard, so we're not going to have a huge amount of crop left, I don't think. And what I need to do is then start looking at what other contracts are going to pay out really nicely. Sowing one there for 45, because I need to raise another 299 if I'm going to hit my 1,000 cows. Okay, well, I was hoping to get over 4 million litres. I was aiming for 4 million, but I'll take that as it is. I showed you from the silo, not from the sell point menu, because it's not showing TMR on that. I'll show you what I mean. Sometimes you get them, sometimes they don't. If we go into the selling menu and we scroll across, we've got for wood chips, we've got our silage, we've got our hay, which is now empty, our grass, our straw, and as we go across, you've got all those ones with all the various different sell points. But we've got nothing showing what TMR we've got stored on there. So you have to go to the silo to check it. But it wasn't too much of a problem, was it? Let's get her done. Days. So what I want to do is get this done, even if I'm left like 10 grand. I can do some more contracts so I know I can make some more money, that's not a problem. I'm going to need money though, because I'm leasing equipment rather than buying at the moment. I'm trying to gradually build up my stock of implements that I own. So before the end of this episode I want to place my first cow pasture. Now again, there are loads available. I had a look around, someone said there was a modern cow pasture that does 500 cows. I went all the way through all the different farm buildings and other and packs, and I couldn't find it in the Modhub. So I went with the Lone Oak one. That was showing 500 as well, so I thought I could place multiple pastures of smaller capacities, but it's easier to do it in two. Especially if I'm running factories as well. Am I going to do sheep on here or pigs or anything like that? I wasn't intending to. I did think about doing a load of sheep, finding a real big sheep pasture, and then using one of the new, the MrSealyp wool pallets that holds like 64,000 litres, so I can place a couple of those down, just leave them to chug away, because I can do a load of grass, fill it up, and away you go. Although I do need to clean up the feed areas, but again, not too much of a problem. So from here I need to head down to the transport company with what we've got. Stop that, lift that, do that, drop it down. I'll see you down at the transport company in just a second. We'll get rid of this. Actually, where is the transport company? That's down the bottom, isn't it? Yeah, transport company's there. And best price is at the warehouse, which is this side, isn't it? Yeah, over there. That's where I want to be going. Shouldn't really be going across people's fields, but... Okay, pipe out. I'm going to put this right at the very end. And kind of on full lock to the right, ready to accelerate, so that as soon as it does say contract complete, I don't I don't think I'm going to have much left over after this, but it's all money in the bank. Oh, that's all right. 31,597 left. I did get a little bit on that. What I'm going to do now is hop onto there. We'll do contract complete, which will get me my 29,000 pay, which does give me enough. I am going to do that sewing one. I'm going to accept the contract on that because that will pay nicely. I'm going to head up to the warehouse, sell the rest. And I've got more than enough now to get my first cattle pasture, dairy pasture. That's alright. That worked out at what, 76 grand for a fairly small field, in all honesty. Let's switch to that, close that. And so we now have enough. Let's get our pasture. So I've got husbandry with manure pit, free range. I want that one enclosed with a manure pit. I'm going to put it over here. Now how do I want it? Actually that way around is actually not too bad. I'm trying to think where I can... No, I don't want to use my grass up, do I really? Although I am there, aren't I? That will do. Thank you very much. So we're down to 98 grand. But we do have our cow pasture now. We might do a bit of landscaping because that's flat grass texture, isn't it? I'd rather have actual kind of growing grass around that. We'll have a fiddle around with that. But we can put 500 cows in. I am a bit surprised, I'll be honest, on here, on Eureka, that with all the extended stuff, I think I mentioned this before, with all the equipment that we have available, that we don't have a water tanker or some way of transporting water larger than the standard in-game. With all the extended capacities and wide pickups, and I thought a water one would be an obvious kind of... Unless I'm missing something under animals, is there one in here that's been kind of... No. I've got the ones that are part of the Missy B. Oh no, they're the ones that are standard in here, aren't they? I've got them under miscellaneous, I think. One of the Missy B liquid fertilizer storage systems, the 60,000 litre one, which I think I'll use. It means 60,000 litres. It's, you know, it's not going to take long to fill something up, is it? I have got those. So, oh, you know, let's get one of those anyway. That'll do. Standard, really. I'm not too bothered. Let's buy that. And the other thing I want to do is a standpipe. So where the water trough is, which the water trough's inside, isn't it? Oh, that might not be so good with the tanker. I didn't even think of that. Oh, there's a gate there, isn't there? Will it let me place it inside? So this is another one that is by C&S Annmarie. There you go. The water standpipe. It's one of my favourites. I've said that so many times before. It's pretty good for placement. It should let me put it inside. So it means when I come to do water, I can just fill up and fill the trough right here, right next to it. But you have to make sure the spout is facing out when you place it. Otherwise your tanker won't recognise it if it's facing the other way. So I can have that right up close. Now that won't automatically fill the trough, but it doesn't mean I'm going to go elsewhere. I can just come here with my tanker, fill up, and I'm job done. So let's place that, and I'm good to go in the next episode to get 500 cows and get the ball rolling with them. And we're going to get on with our sugarcane harvest, I think is what we're going to do next. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.